Well, do you see, we hold this for a moment. Imagine a fellowship of singles devoted to God. Are there problems with this? Well, it certainly presents as such if the members of this group have, for instance, sexual needs, and you're going to have children. Are these children? I mean, goodness. The mind runs riot. We've got chaos, haven't we? Yes. That's because you missed the point. This is not just a community of single people. This is a community of single people that are not single at all. Each is devoted to God. A God that cares for each. So we care for each in the way that God cares for each, because we're devoted to God, not to each individual. It's God that's doing the devoted to each. And he doesn't have these, if you like, sexual needs. Let me explore for a moment the possibility. He does have needs for children, and he gains those children from couples who are devoted to each other, not members of this devoted fellowship group. They are exclusively devoted to each other, not preoccupied with the needs of those next door, but with their own needs, and ideally the children too, so that they focus on the reliability and care that the child needs. So we have an ideal society that meets God's need for children and our need for God. Our need for God is met not in the marriage relationship, but in the relationship of the ideal community of single people devoted to God. And if that option does not appeal, and it won't to the less mature spiritually, then they have children and devote to their marriage partner. If they don't devote to their marriage partner but have sexual relationships with others so that they're devoted to several, well then of course their resources are diffused, and the care with which they have to meet their children's needs, which they're only focusing, remember, on their own children in large measure, won't be there. It will be scattered across several relationships, or many even, and too many children, etc., to be really what each individual child needs. So we require a community that we have. It has the option for each person to be devoted to God, or to be devoted to one other partner and have children. The children come into a world where they can choose, likewise. And God, my God, will have those children ultimately be devoted to him as part of the heavenly host, which is therefore directly devoted to each other, sorry, not directly, but indirectly devoted to each other in having the same goal. They all love a God that loves all. He's able to love all. We are not. We can't be in a situation where we love all. We can be in a situation where we love God, who loves all. Ah, good. If you choose not to, well, you can be in a situation where you love a partner. Perhaps you find you need sexual relations and so on. Fair enough. But that has to be narrowed down to one partner. Probably, I mean, an extremely low number of partners anyway, well, as far as we know, one partner. And no, that won't be infinitely satisfying. It'll be satisfying in the shorter run, and we only need it in the shorter run to bring up children wonderfully. You know, it doesn't take long to bring up kids. 20 years at the outside. Possibly 12 or 14 to be realistic. And you've done all the basics of bringing up a person into what we call adult life. Adult secular life, which gives you the opportunity of remaining secular and doing what your parents did, or coming to be devoted to God. So we have a society that allows both. It's not that the married people have to be devoted to God. No, we accept that they're really giving priority to each other and excluding the rest of the world. That seems to be a necessary part, or they've nothing to offer. You know, the devoted, close loving care of the children won't be there. And that's what's needed to birth them into a secular, at least adult life. What do you think? Do you see we don't have a world of what we have? You know, some people live as monks, and most people seem to be bringing up children. And those that are living as monks, well, they're ready for the kingdom of heaven anyway. We don't need to have many places for them because, well, they're not coming back. They go on to glory. And the rest of us keep coming back for as long as we wish to suffer this experience. I'm not sure about this, Marsha. No, I am sure, though. I am sure. It's a wonderful world. He has it right, not wrong. It's not that all the world's supposed to be monks or nuns. Most of the world needs to be going forth and multiplying until they're sick of it and they think, my goodness, I want to love God. Sure, I'm concerned for all, but only God can meet that fantastic, colossal need, not me. I should devote myself to a God who cares for all, and he'll know how to do it much better than me. And no doubt, now and again he'll call on me to do so and so, Marshall. That's what's needed. Yes, Lord. And off we trot and chat to someone and put them on their feet again and bless them and remind them that God loves them. Remind them too that they can devote themselves to God, which is really the only eternal way to go. To devote yourself to one who loves all. You can't love all yourself. directly, it would be meaningless. You don't have enough resources. You can meet crises as God directs, and He'll love and care for you, probably through all those people that you keep blessing and rescuing, because He has a basic principle that you should love with all your heart, soul, mind and strength God and others as yourself, which is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength, which is to help a God that ever loves all, both those that are monks and nuns, if you like, celibate, whatever, and those that aren't, that vast majority. And what about those that don't marry, don't have children, and don't love God? Oh dear. Well, they're still children. But remember, we do love children. We don't despise them or count them as being in the wrong for being children. They're still children. Perhaps they long to have a partner, but it just doesn't seem to happen. Oh, we can come to their rescue. You can love God like I do, and you won't long for possessing any one particular other partner. You'll be part of a lovely family that love God, each one devoted to God, and meeting each person's needs accordingly. Fellowship and happiness. The world is not such a wrong setup as you thought. God's got it right. You're going to trust Him with all your heart, that He is all-powerful. And in our narrow way we view things and think, goodness, that's not right. So we trust in His view, that He has all things right. He's all-powerful and all-loving. And that's all we need. Bless you. Hey, look, this society allows both to all of us. I mean, goodness, I've had 3 exclusive wives. Not all at once, you understand. Not in parallel, in series, okay? Not by choice, I might point out, but that's another story. But, you know, one reaches an age where I've been there, done that. Not sure as I need to do that again, do I? For goodness sake. No. I've brought up 3 kids. Good. And I can choose at any time, you see, now. You might say in my old age, well, that's because I'm a bit thick. I obviously took a lot of learning, but I can now choose to love God with all my heart, soul, mind and strength. I don't need to be married. My real need is to love God. No question of it. It's just that I didn't quite realize that when younger. And that afforded me to have children, to know exclusive love quite intensely, to understand love and the demands of such, and to bring up kids that in some sense are seen as one's own creation of oneself in another way, as God does. Been there, done that, can now love God. So we move on to the next stage of life, which is life eternal. Ah, lovely. What a fantastic system. You can be young and married and have children. And then you can be the perfect grandparents, loving and caring to the grandchildren when they come, and your own children when they want to come. But letting them have their life, of course, because that's what they need now. When they get to your experience of maturity, they'll switch to God too. How lovely. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the world as it is. I see some bits of it, horrendous evil in it, sometimes too much, if I focus on it. So I reach out in trust to you, my God, all-powerful and all-loving, that creates a creation that's of course beyond my comprehension, because I'm not fully an adult in the kingdom of heaven yet. So in the meantime, I have faith and trust, and quite reasonably, when I think of all the ways you've loved and cared and provided for me over the years. So I can abide in this, what would otherwise be a frightening situation, a world that has horrendous evil in it. I can abide in trust. I can certainly attempt to anyway. And with practice, we get better at it. Love you, Father. Love you. Thank you, Dad. Oh, of course, perhaps I should point out that I'm not saying that, I'm a monk living in a monastery. I don't mean that. I mean, I don't have to be married now. I can, if you like, embrace celibacy. It seems a tricky subject to talk about in our society, doesn't it? And anything to do with sex seems to be not sure how much one should be talking about it and so on and so forth. People have very strong feelings about it, don't they? But anyway, I'm not saying that, the older person is living in an exclusive community that hides away. On the contrary, it may be very much, lovely grandparent to all, as needed, and meeting crises and meeting some ongoing relationships with certain people and certain children, because we're a help and a blessing, and that's our joy. We've reached some level of maturity. I don't mean we're fully ready for the kingdom of heaven yet, but perhaps we're getting nearer. And that it's open to all at any stage of life. Well, I'm not sure it's open to all when you've had a partner and you've got children with them. I got a feeling it's not open, it's not likely to be acceptable to you until the children are matured. Matured in the worldly sense of, 12 to 21, whatever the age might be. In large measure matured into what we think of as usual adult life. hopefully well equipped. And we're given, aren't we, this exclusive affection for such, our own children, when we're in such married relationships. But when that time has passed, or even in it to some extent, you can start to be a Christian family, can't you? Still exclusively, married to your partner and caring for your children as priority, but mindful of where you now wish to go, which is increasingly to both of you putting God first as your parental commitments and marital commitments mature into children growing up, and you just both seeking God more than simply being in relationship with each other. Is this to be untrue to your original commitment? No, it is to both maturing into the goodness and loveliness that you both need into life eternal. It occurs to me in this discussion, the notion of reincarnation. Do I believe in it? Do I believe in the sense that I want it to be true? No, I don't personally want to come back again and again. I'd rather have the understanding I have now and in my mind move on to the kingdom of heaven more permanently than keep going through this cycle of life here, accepting that what's called in Buddhism the bodhisattva concern, which is you want all life to be fulfilled, but not in the Buddhist sense of, or rather, can I say, but in the fulfilled in the Buddhist sense that Judaic religion has, for instance, or Hinduism, which is that in some sense you need to be, the fulfilled is to be one with a God that is just wonderful, eternal, loving of all powerful. Beautiful heavenly state, host of heaven if you like, wants to be part of God's family. Yeah. Thank you, Dad. Do I personally think that we are reincarnated until we reach this transcendent state of continual heavenly life? Well, I don't know. It seems more rational to me. Possibly the case. Do I know it to be the case? No. Well, I don't know anything that much. I just trust certain things. I trust in the goodness of God, of course. That He has got it all worked out. I was going to say sussed, but very reverent way of saying it, that he has it right. My desire is to trust him. My desire is to trust that he's all-loving and probably all-powerful, or certainly powerful enough, that he's wonderful. My God. My Dad. And I understand that in some sense that's what the message of Jesus is. The Jesus story is that. That if you understand him as your God, your Dad, wonderful, wonderful God, and your Dad, your parent, if you like, loves you. When you desire to take that on board, when that is what you want to be the case, well, I think you mature at a phenomenal rate, as only God knows. Phenomenal to be. So my God is a God of miracles, a God who loves all, God of love, capability, yes, power, yes, but cardinally, God of love, our Dad. Love you, Dad. Thank you, Dad.